I went to Yale, and I was not from a privileged background. So among the wonderful things that I got at Yale, something not so great was that I encountered a class hierarchy for the first time, and a gender hierarchy really for the first time. I grew up in a very sort of progressive, open community in San Francisco. And this was a shock, and so I guess what I took with me for the rest of my career was how bad rigid class and gender and racial hierarchies were, and how much damage they did, and how great a real meritocracy was. And so that's something I've sought to work on through my nonfiction and scholarship for the last 25 years. What it did for me most was confirm the idea that any question was worth asking. Nothing was off limits intellectually, and that also any argument was valid if you could back it up with evidence and source it properly. And that's so important. And in a time like now, when there are so many assaults on freedom of speech and freedom of inquiry and independence of campuses around the world, it's super, super important to remember how many discoveries and inventions and important conversations and debates and defenses of democracy and so on have come out of that, simple idea that any question is worth asking. The role of a mentor in one's career is really such an important one, and it's why I've devoted a lot of energy to women's leadership, because young women, everyone needs a mentor, but young women especially, I think, really need to see what it looks like at that next level, or what their biggest dreams might look like, manifested, and see leaders who are women that they can relate to and who have a protective relationship to them. So one of the young women I mentored is now my attorney, and she advises me on, my own rights and how to, protect my own stuff. And so that's a beautiful kind of generational, role reversal. We can all mentor each other. I think it's so crucial to be a mentor because we're all getting gifts all the time from the universe and the people around us, and they can stop with us, or we can, pay it forward, whatever the expression is. And I find it so satisfying to see, that same process now that I have something to offer young people coming up, to identify that potential and be able to pass on that guidance or support or contact or training or whatever it is that lets them save time and energy while they realize their dreams, especially if they're committed to making the world better. It's a great feeling. Higher education is certainly important, but that's if it's only restricted to the elites, and if a university education costs $50,000 or $60,000 a year, which it now does a lot of places, then we're just perpetuating a dysfunctional situation in which a few people's kids get educated and everyone else is struggling and not able to contribute their fullest. So to me, the question is, which is why I'm so happy to be visiting the SUNY Stony Brook campus, how important is public education? Critical, absolutely necessary. I was educated at a great public high school, Lowell High School. My dad taught at San Francisco State. This mission of public education where any bright, hardworking kid from any background, whatever their parents make, whatever, if they, arrived yesterday from another country, they can get a top education that is so transformational and revolutionary. And you see the results all the time, and I really want to live in a world in a nation in which that continues to be more and more available, because only when you tap all that potential do we have all the solutions that we need to solve these critical questions that are facing us. And so it's such an honor to be here for that reason.